Hey y'all, welcome back to the Just Life and podcast. You have made it all the way to episode 16.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Ba, 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 ba.
Yes. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope you all had a safe and happy holiday season, and we hope that you missed us during the break. We were gone for like 3 weeks, I think, something like that.
Yes. I will say it feels good to be back. I'm glad to be back recording, putting out content for the people. I'm happy about that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right, vibe check. Fill us in on what's been going on with you over this break.
It's been quiet. It's been relatively quiet. I've been home. I am home on medical leave. It's been okay. No complaints there. I'll talk about it later. My dad came for the holidays, which was nice. It's always nice when my dad comes because like my dad is just such a vibe. Like I have to shout him out. Like my dad, like he is A1. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Oh,
So it was really good just to have him here. And then another thing that I picked up with my dad, I was telling my husband this time that he came, he spoke a lot about his mom, and he speaks about her like, he's spoken about her before, but this time, like, he really spoke a lot, like, just telling us different stories about her and things like that. I came to the conclusion that I am her.
oh,
When he spoke about certain mannerisms, certain behaviors she has, da 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 da, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this
oh,
is me."
wow.
Yes, it was very interesting. Just even for example, like, it was just kinda like, before they left the house, the clothes needed to be ironed. You needed to wear cologne, you always had to smell good, you lotion your body, You couldn't go out looking any type of way. It doesn't matter where you were going. You need to, be put together. And I feel like I'm like that, particularly with my kids. Like I'm the one that like, no Vaseline my child face. Don't be having her go out there with dry face. Especially, now it's cold, it's winter, and I'm like, no, Vaseline your lips, smooth your hair, whatever. So, and just different things, just like the way she is. She was born and raised in Saudi Arabia, just to preface this. So she's very big on cleanliness. And I think it goes back to what I was saying about being in Qatar, like the way people are in regards to cleanliness. And that was like a big
Mhm.
thing for her. And she was a big person into smells. And I feel like I'm the same way. So I say all that to say, I know they have like these journals that you can give to family members, particularly like usually like your parents or grandparents. And it's basically just to write down stories. Uh,
Hmm.
how they grew up, stories that they remember from their grandparents, da, 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 so that you can still have those stories to pass down to your children. Because obviously, your parents are getting of a certain age, da, 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 da,
Yeah.
whatever, and you're not going to remember everything. So I said I wanted to get that for my parents just to, document certain things so we would have that for ourselves and then also for our kids and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
but it was chill. The overall though, the break has been good, like no complaints. I'm not gonna hold you though. I'm happy that my son is back in school because it's when they both home. But uh,
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
but it's cold. We were local, so it's been cold. I'm patiently waiting for summer, but we did our vision boards and we manifesting good vibes, just all good things. And yeah, so here we are, 2026. So let's see what it do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
Well,
know you had a fun holiday, so give us the deets.
I did. I did. Oh my gosh. So, so my boyfriend's mom, she kind of kicks off the holiday season with this annual holiday party. So we did that.
Mhm.
And then 3 days later, we were in Miami. We flew to Miami. We hung out in Miami, had a good time. Oh my gosh, we went to this, like, outdoor restaurant bar. It wasn't really even a restaurant, it was like a outdoor bar.
Mhm.
Anyway, I had the best frozen mojito I've ever had in my life. First of all, I didn't even know a mojito could be frozen.
Mm.
Mojito is one of my favorite drinks. I had no idea that it could be frozen. When I tell you that mojito changed my life, it was
Mm.
so good.
Mm.
But, we hung out, and then Christmas Eve, we boarded our cruise to the Bahamas and had an amazing time, good food, good weather,
Mm.
good vibes, good entertainment, good music. I had to bring the fashions, like, ah,
Period.
it was it was so good. It was so good.
Period. I love this for you. I love it.
I love it too. This was my first time, like, traveling for the holidays. with family or not at home, just actually going to another country or just doing something away.
Right.
So we're gonna make this a what do you call it? Like a tradition for us. So
Mhm.
we already booked our cruise for next year. We're gonna be
Yay.
on December 26th to January 2nd. So we'll actually be gone for New Year's this time.
That's gonna be nice.
It's gonna be so good. We're leaving from Puerto Rico for that one, so we'll get to explore Puerto Rico a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm so excited for this travel time in my life. Like,
I love
ah,
it for you. You know what I tell you, enjoy.
mhm, mhm, and I
Because Tina does all adult cruises, so I
mhm.
can't participate. Yeah.
Yes, all adult, just on adults only cruises, adults only resorts.
Yeah. Mhm, mhm. West side's over in the family side.
Another, what'd you say? Another like 4 years?
Yeah, bring it down to, like, 3.
The
Let's say 3 years.
Oh, okay, because I had said 10, y'all.
Right. I'm not waiting that long, y'all. Let's shoot for 3. Let's shoot for 3 and see
We
what
will
happens.
welcome you with open arms in 3 years.
Yes.
So let's get into the rundown. What's going on in the world right now?
Yes. So, I mean, I feel like obviously for those who still did social during the holiday, it's definitely been eventful time, so to speak, particularly in the political world. Let's start it off. So, the US captured the Venezuelan president Maduro and his wife for alleged drug trafficking and narco terrorism. That was surprising. People
Mhm.
obviously were caught off guard. Obviously, there's a lot of narratives as far as the reason US did that. There's a lot of
Mhm.
narratives behind if the Venezuelan citizens are happy about this or not. I do think it's just a lot of mixed information. It's to be seen. I also will say that the Senate, as of now, has voted, though, to limit Donald's military power over Venezuela. So,
Well, that's good. Tie
yeah.
his hands in some kind of way because, word on the street is, see, now why Americans are upset about this whole situation is because we feel like he didn't went in there and bum rush Venezuela
Mhm.
because he want that oil, that good oil, because you know that they have the world's largest oil reserves over there. They got like 303 billion barrels of crude
Correct.
oil.
Mhm.
And Donnie Boyden already said, I think it was freaking in his past, like his previous presidency, I think it was, he was saying like, Venezuela stole this oil from us because they took over oil projects that were being conducted by US companies that are over there, like Exxon Mobil and ConocoPhillips are already over there doing their oil thing. And Venezuela was like, oh, we're gonna take these projects over. So he feels like, it was stolen oil and he wanted it back.
Yeah, which is crazy because God forbid America saying that somebody stole something,
Show, listen,
took someone's land.
the
Like, what?
audacity.
Okay. You can have it, Donald. You can have it. So we shall see what unfolds with that. That's all I can say. But like
Mhm.
you said, narco terrorism, I was like, oh, this is getting spicy.
Mm,
If they do like a Netflix documentary about it, I'm on it because I love anything that talks about narco. So I'm here for it just to see like if they're a part of like that and what unfolds with that.
Mhm.
But also, on that same accord, though, Trump also indicates that the US needs Greenland for
Mm.
national security purposes. He alleges that there are too many Russian and Chinese ships. So, I guess he needs the territory of Greenland to put US ships there for, I guess, military safety reasons again. Though, again, I don't know, 'cause it's gonna be one of those things, it's so many narratives. Is it true? Is it not true? You don't know because I feel like Donald's the type of person, like, you just really don't know what he's coming with. We shall
Well,
see.
Greenland said it's not true. Greenland said ain't no Russian and Chinese ships over running
See?
around near here. They said it's not true. And he's really putting himself in a sticky position because Greenland is a Denmark territory. Denmark is a NATO ally, and so their NATO allyship is extended to Greenland. And you're
Mhm.
not supposed to come at your fellow NATO allies like that. You're not supposed to be like, well, we need to take you over because of
Yeah,
whatever reason.
absolutely, and I agree with you. I just feel like, unfortunately, Donald has ran this ship in however he sees fit. regardless of rules, regulation, laws, anything, it's like they don't apply to him and what he is trying to accomplish. And I feel like they should have wheeled him in a long time ago. We're just seeing the effects of bad behavior. They should have wheeled Donald in a long. Now he is just a badass child. He already gone wild. Like a badass teenager. It's too late. It's too
Yeah,
late.
yep.
So once again, we shall see what happens.
But you know what
Um,
I heard today, though?
yes,
I
ma'am.
did hear today that they did yet another cognitive exam on him. So
Hmm.
somebody somewhere knows that something ain't right, and they keep testing this man, but I don't know what's going on. Is he passing the tests? Are they withholding the real true test results? Like, I
Right.
don't know what's going on. I heard also that recently he had another interview where his face was drooping and he was slurring his words again.
Mm,
Like,
mm,
mm,
mm. I don't know. And as far as like the test, yes, I do think they would lie for him. I absolutely do. I do think that they would be like, no, he's okay. He's healthy as a horse, doing good and well. He's depleting right before our eyes.
mhm,
I would not be surprised because just like we discussed even before we recorded, you getting pardons from the Supreme Court and everything. So
yeah.
anything is possible with him. Like he has a lot of people. I don't even want to say in his pocket, but I guess just in a big agreement to what he's doing. I don't know. So
Mhm.
it's very unfortunate, but we shall see what happens with that, honestly speaking. As of late, though, some people may have heard that an ICE agent by the name of Jonathan Ross murdered a US citizen by the name of Renee Good. And this occurred in Minneapolis. And she was shot. She was in her vehicle. I didn't watch the video because I try not to watch a lot of videos with this type of trauma and things like
Oh, I saw it. I saw the
okay.
before, the beginning, the end, her slumped in the car. I saw all of it.
Oh, see, no, no. Ooh, okay. Because once again, a lot of narratives, of course, the Vice President JD Vance and the Department of Homeland Security are saying, "Oh no, this was self-defense." But like I said, I didn't watch the video, but people are like, "No, when you watch the video, that was not self-defense. He was not in
Yeah.
harm's way. He just did what he needed to do, being overzealous, trying to be extra, overexerting power, whatever you want to say." And
Mhm.
unfortunately, it resulted in the death of somebody.
Yeah. I would agree that she was not trying to run the man over. So basically, there was like a convoy of ICE vehicles,
Mhm,
and she lived in the neighborhood. Like her neighbors watched her get killed. So it seems like she was trying to like come out into the street, but the convoy was coming by. And she had tried to come out, and another one of the convoy cars that went around her, so she stopped where she was
mhm,
and waved them to go ahead. For some reason, the car that she waved to go ahead, the ICE agents jump out. They immediately are like, "Get out the car." They try to open her door. I'm like,
mm-mm,
"What is happening?" Like, she just told y'all to go around. Huh? So she backs up and then
mhm,
she proceeds to go forward like she's trying to get away from them. There's 3 ICE agents around the car. There's one who's, like, reaching into her window, and
mm-mm,
he's the one who claims that, "Oh, she was trying to run me over, so I fired the shots." But her wheels were turned away from him. He was off to the side of the vehicle, and he had plenty of time and opportunity to actually get out of the way. Like, it
mhm.
wasn't like, "Oh my gosh, I was dead center in front of her car, and I had no way of escape." So he fired the shots very close range from what you can see from the video. She
Mhm.
crashes into another car, and then the next scene that I saw was her slumped over the steering wheel, blood everywhere.
That is absolutely insane.
Mhm.
So she was at her home.
Yeah, I think that was her neighborhood because in one of the aftermath videos, a woman is screaming, "You just murdered my neighbor. You just murdered my neighbor." Mhm.
Wow.
And then there
That
was
that
like
is very go ahead,
One
I'm
of the
sorry.
witnesses was a doctor. He was saying, "Can I check for a pulse?" He was asking ICE agents, "Can I check for a pulse?" And they were like, "No." He's like, "I'm a physician. Can I check for a pulse?" And they were like, "No." So they weren't letting anybody render aid. They said that they had paramedics on site and they were on their way. So are they on their way or are they on site? Because there's no sirens, there's nobody
Mhm.
there. She's just slumped over the steering wheel. Obviously, she's probably already deceased at that point, but still, the man's like,
Right.
"I'm a doctor, let me check for a pulse," and they would not allow that either.
That is insane. And that was definitely one thing that I heard that it seems like almost like they wanted to deny her medical care.
Mhm,
The aftermath of everything. That's
mhm.
and once again, nothing is gonna happen to this gentleman at all. And you know what about this same ICE officer who shot this woman? They said in June 2025, he was dragged by a vehicle 50 yards. So
Oh,
I'm
he was
like,
traumatized.
yeah, right. Right, but in
Okay.
my head, I'm like, was you being extra? So then you got caught and then you got drugged. So now you were like, "Oh,
Oh.
you would never let this happen again." You was trying to flex. I don't know. And so because of that incident, that's why the vice president was like, he needs to be celebrated because he's
Mm-mm.
done so much and, he's
Uh,
been through so much. I said, "Okay."
no,
But
no.
shout out to the mayor of Minneapolis, Mr. Jacob Fry, who basically told ICE to leave. He used other words like, "Get the F out. Y'all can go. You've done enough. You're not keeping
Mhm.
safety. You're not doing anything beneficial to the community, essentially, causing more chaos." And I hope they listen and I hope they respect that because this ICE thing is crazy. And I think they said that they just recruited so many people applied
Oh,
become ICE agents, like thousands, because they needed so many people and so many people applied for that. But I just feel like it's a whole bunch of egotistical people, like these ICE agents, they get into these positions and they really want to flex and just do the most. And it's like,
yeah,
very unnecessary.
yeah.
Very
I think,
unnecessary.
on one end, they are paying money that, people who are applying for these positions may not have otherwise made.
Mhm.
These six-figure salaries, these bonuses and things like that to draw you in. But then on the other hand, I just think law enforcement in general is just one of those fields where it's difficult for me to trust people's motivations for that field because it's an opportunity for you to abuse people and, with
Absolutely.
little to no accountability. You have a badge.
Absolutely. Mhm.
All of your unchecked egos and insecurities and biases and discrimination and all those things, you just out here on the streets ready,
Yes.
able to freely wield that.
Yes. I said, God forbid if it's the person who was teased or bullied.
Mhm.
And they get into this,
Mhm.
oh, they gonna get real active.
Mhm.
Everybody gonna pay for everything that they went through. Like,
Yeah.
and they say they do like a mental health evaluation. Sometimes I'm like, do you? Are you
Mm,
sure? Because there's a lot of unwell people here. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, very unfortunate though. That whole story, very very sad to hear. We're gonna move right along to Diddy. I feel like we talk about Diddy like a lot throughout this podcast, but his case was hot. It was big. Okay,
Mhm.
but just in recent news, just real quick, Trump did deny his request for a pardon. Are we surprised? Like hell no. First of all, Diddy, like what? You're black, and you didn't
Mhm.
support him. Like you gonna sit there. If he could add more time to you, he might try to do that. So I don't think you should be asking Trump for anything. You might just need to do your time peacefully
Yep.
and then move out the country. Because I also don't think you should stay here after. I think you have to relocate as well. And then lastly, Young Thug. Obviously, we definitely did cover his case as well, but it looks like he is getting $150,000 worth of personal belongings back from the government of Georgia. It is basically alleged that they didn't fulfill an appeal obligation and they were actually 90 days overdue. So the judge basically said, okay, since y'all didn't do what you were supposed to do, go ahead and run him his things back. So
Mm.
apparently they have until tomorrow by 5 p.m. to give him back his belongings. So we should see. Hopefully they didn't steal nothing.
He'll, I'm sure, say something very loudly if some things are missing. Chatty Pat ain't
Right.
gonna let that slide, okay?
And
But nothing like winning on a technicality.
yes, yes,
That's
yes,
good for
yes.
him.
Agreed, agreed, agreed. Yes, I agree. We'll end this rundown on a lighter and love note. So there were some people who got engaged during this festive holiday. Julissa Bermudez. I know, Kina, you were like, who?
I don't know who
But
that girl is. I don't know her at all.
she is a host on a lot of different outlets from ET, BET. She did a show with Adrian Bailon. I feel like with her, she has always wanted to be married. Like she just gave that family vibe. Like she wanted to do that. So I'm very happy that that finally did occur for her. And
Hmm.
then Miss Jordan Woods, she got married to her basketball boyfriend, Carl Thompson. But we all saw that coming. I like them together. They seem like they're solid from what we see.
Mhm.
So congrats to them.
Yeah.
And then also Taina and G Herbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he locked it down too. So,
Yeah, little
wishing them all
engagement.
the best. They have 2 kids together, and they seem like they're just in a healthier place in general, even as far as,
Mhm.
like, his relationship with his first baby mama, Ari.
Yeah.
It seems like as a collective, they have a understanding, things were talked and hashed out, everybody's being
Mhm.
respectful, so congrats to them. And then lastly, we did talk about Venus Williams and her now husband when they did get engaged, but they're actually married now, and the photos were beautiful. She looks really
Mhm.
good.
Oh,
Um,
she looks so good.
yes, her skin is flawless. Serena also looked beautiful. Her husband
Mhm.
looked handsome. The photos were just really very, very beautiful. So
Yeah.
definitely congrats to her. Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, V, get that man, V.
And listen.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. So with this episode, it's gonna be like a general shooting the shit episode. No topic. We're just kind of chopping it up. We've done this before, so we thought like we do this again. Just top of the year, seeing what's happening and everything like that. The one thing I will say is that since we weren't doing episodes, I did go back and listen to some, and there was an episode that we recorded that I was real stank, right? Not through the whole episode. It was my greeting.
I remember that episode, yeah.
Ooh, I said, "Oh my
Mhm.
god, girl, you have attitude because it's giving you got attitude." And really, I did it. I promise y'all, I did it because I actually really do enjoy recording. I was just tired, and it really showed in the beginning part. But that's just me being me. Okay, this is just life me. So we have different, there's different spectrums of our life. Like I was tired that day, but yeah, but I heard it. I said, "Ugh, girl, you sound real stank. Like, don't do that again." I did.
Yeah, that was the one, it was your late day at work, I remember that.
Yes, and, like, the late days take me out. Like, I've said this before, they really do take me out. And then, another episode, it was the religious episode. I mixed up my words because I kept on saying Emiratis and UAE when I wanted to reference solely Qatar and Qataris. And that was
Mm,
my mistake because
mhm.
I know people be like, "Oh my god, Saya, Qatar's not UAE." Yes, I know this. I was just lumping it together and that was my bad. Because they're like a pebbles throw away. What is the
I thought
saying?
they were part of the UAE, so, you know.
Yeah, listen, they're not. Yeah, but just
Mm,
FYI, I know, my bad. And I will say overall though, I like our episodes. I have to
mhm.
like pat ourselves on the back because I really do think we give good content. It's really a good podcast. I ain't gonna hold you. I really enjoyed listening to it. And maybe I'm being biased because it's ours. I don't know, but I really do enjoy listening to. I like the way we mesh, the way we vibe, and I
Yeah.
enjoy doing it. So I hope the listeners continue to enjoy and tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, so
Mhm.
we can grow the podcast. But yeah, I don't know. Well, what are your thoughts about previous episodes?
Well, so Sai and I have had this conversation before because I do the editing.
Yes.
By the time the episodes drop, I'm tired of hearing our voices because I have heard probably one sentence 10 times as I'm trying to like stitch stuff together. But I did take some time a little bit before the break. I was just running some errands one day and I was like, oh, you know what? I want to hear how this sounds in the car actually because I only
Mhm.
heard it on my computer or on my phone. So I was like, I want to hear how this sounds in the car. And I was like, oh, okay, our intro sounds real good. Like that beat is nice. Okay, you got to hear the bass come through. Okay, 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 cool, cool. And then it's like doom, 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 doom. Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, okay. So that was a plus. And then it just gave a different vibe just hearing it in the car and the clarity and the volume of it. So I ended up
Yeah.
listening to like 2 or 3 episodes that day as I was running around and I enjoyed it. I thought it was really
Okay.
good. I think that we have been doing a very good job as novice podcasters and
Mhm.
kind of just doing this thing on our own and just coming up off the dome with topics and
Yeah.
it I think we've pieced it together really well in the fact that we are 2 different people with 2 different
Mhm.
perspectives about things. I think
Mhm.
it makes it that much more engaging.
Agreed, agreed. And then another thing that we chatted about, so obviously it's the top of the new year. One thing that people always hone in on are resolutions. And you and I have both discussed that's not really our zhuzh. Don't really do resolutions. I just think it's just please just shut up. Because if you was gonna do something, you was gonna do it. Period. You didn't have to wait till the new year. Stop it. Like you know what I
Been
mean?
trying to lose that same 15 pounds since 2023.
Yeah,
Girl, bye.
listen, it's okay, just let it go. Just
Let
just
it
just be
go.
you. Yeah. So, I think, like, what I said to you is that once again, like I said, we don't do resolutions, but I do believe in new chapters, and I also
Mhm.
feel like, the same way even for birthdays. I have a January birthday, so I feel like it kinda, like, flows in together, but
Yeah.
just as age a year older, as the new year begins, it's just like a new chapter, a new beginning to implement things that are beneficial to you as an
Mhm.
individual. And then that can also trickle down to your family life, your, personal life, siblings, parents, partner, however that looks like for you. So I feel like that's my view about the new year. My husband and I, we did a vision board of certain things that we want to do. And we've definitely started. I will say, I'm not going to say everything, but I definitely will say that one thing that I said I want to do is increase my faith. That was something
Mm.
that I was like, I really wanna tap into, just increase my faith,
Yeah.
however that looks like to me, and I've been doing it, and I've been enjoying it. I will say
Yeah.
that. It's been good. And then also trickling that down to, like, the kids and stuff like that. So
What does that look like for you? Is it attending services? Is it reading the Bible or the Quran? What does that look like for you to increase your faith?
absolutely. So it's reading the Quran for me.
Mhm.
So starting to do that, it's something that I don't even want to say force myself to do because that's not even right. Because I actually enjoy doing it. It's something that I make sure that I do on a nightly basis
Mm.
is reading it, going back to read interpretations, understandings of it. So you just have like a better outlook and everything like that. And it's so funny because obviously like I've done this like before when I was younger, right? But then like as you go into adulthood, you have such a different perspective about certain things. So now
Mhm.
when you read it, you be like, "Ooh,
Mhm.
okay." Like, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Versus like when you were younger, where you were pretty much forced to do those types of things.
Mm. I've never finished the Bible. I've
Mm,
never finished it. I've always wanted to finish it, and I've never finished it. I feel like I've
see?
never found, like, a good fit for a Bible until last year.
Okay.
Like you were saying, like, understanding it and really,
Mhm.
what is it actually saying?
Yes.
Interpreting it properly, and I
Yes.
found this Bible that also had a lot of, like, footnotes about what things meant and little
Right.
side things
Mm,
to put stories into context and
mhm.
little
Mhm.
extra stories on the side, and it was like I was reading it and I can understand it, and what I had found out was the Bible is like the greatest drama story ever told. The action, the lies, the deception. I was like,
Mhm.
"Ooh, wait
Mhm.
wait, wait, hold on now, what?" Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes, yes. No, it's really good. It's very fulfilling. And then like, and we've always said prayers at night when we put the kids to bed. We've always done prayers. That's always been a standard, like
Mhm.
within our home. But now we do it together because sometimes it's like, okay, Gigi's over there, do it. Okay, I'll go, pray with her separately. Okay, let me play with Callie separate, whatever. But now, like, we do it as a collective, and it's funny because now, like, Cal is like, no, 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 no. It's my turn. Let me say my prayers. I'm like, "Okay,
Mm.
sir, hold on." And he'd be like, "Bismillah." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Thank you for my parents, my Gigi, my auntie, my uncle, and then my grandpa and my grandma, and thank you for everybody, and thank you for my cookies." And it's so funny, like but he really be into it, and, like, he does his thing. Gigi do her little 2 cents, whatever she be talking about too, and everything like that, but just, like, encouraging them and, allowing them to get into it and everything, but
Yeah.
still, like, make it fun for them, though, but it's been good, though. I've really enjoyed tapping into that, though, I will say.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing
yeah.
wrong with ever tapping into spirituality and, like you said, just as, an older person, like,
Yes.
understanding it better
Yes, 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 yes,
and not being
indeed.
forced to do it, doing it because you want to, that creates a different level of motivation too.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. So, yeah, all good things with that, though, for sure. So off of that though, I'm gonna get a little bit messy.
Uh-oh.
Um, like on social media though. Do you know the one thing that I've noticed? I don't even know if I sent you like a message about this or whatnot. I said, what is going on with like the older men in New York?
Huh?
Everyone's beefing.
Oh,
Like
everybody's being Are
like
you talking about, like, the rappers?
the older rappers, yes. I was just like, is there something in the water? What's going on in New York? I just feel like it's all these people that came out beefing. Obviously, some of it stemmed from the whole thing with people's perspective on 50 doing the documentary, da da da, whatever,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But I'm just like, okay, y'all are how, like, but why? Like,
I was really surprised with Papoose because Papoose and 50 Cent are in what I am calling a cat fight because
Mhm.
they just slinging all kinds of mud and Papoose was making these crazy, like, AI generated videos of, like, 50 dressed like a woman and dancing like a
Yeah.
woman, and I cannot. I was really
No,
surprised with Papoose because I regarded him different. Like, I looked at him differently engaging in this level of petty.
yeah, because it doesn't seem like him. I feel like
No.
he's a great lyricist though, because Papoose can rap. I think he's a
Absolutely.
very underrated rapper.
Yeah.
But what did their beef stem from though?
I don't even know.
Okay, because I didn't know either. I was like, what's her name, Clarissa or whatever,
Clarissa, the son
the
yeah,
girlfriend. I
Clarissa
was like, did
Shields,
she say
yeah.
something? What happened? Because I saw she had jumped into it and said her little 2 cents too. And I
Mhm.
was just like, girl, look, what is going on? Like, how would Papoose start beefing with 50? Like, huh? Like,
No, but when 50 clapped back and said that all of Papooses women are handsome, I did die. I was on the floor. I was on
oh,
the floor.
oh, he said Remy Ma's handsome.
Listen,
Remy, Remy Ma, she
he
not
said
pretty.
he said all of Papooses women are handsome.
I
I took
hate
that to
this.
mean the current and the past.
Oh, that's not right. I'm not laughing. Nope, I'm not doing it. Nope, 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 nope. I like Remy. Nope, I'm not. No, 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 no. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I was in tears.
Oh man. Well, I hope they fix it because I saw Fabulous. Because who is it? Fabulous, Mano, Dave East, and Jim Jones. They all have a
Oh,
podcast together
yeah.
too. And they were going at it with 50 as well. I mean, that one I kind of saw where it came from because it was like, I don't know, 50 had insinuated they didn't pay the rent or Jim Jones didn't pay
Uh,
the rent and da 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 da.
mm,
And then 50 was like, I'm gonna buy the building that you guys record in and da 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 da. I don't know. And then they ended up making a rap song towards 50 or whatever. I'm not gonna lie, Fabulous verse, I did like it though. I did like it. I said, okay, fam, come on.
it
Like,
was good?
no, I liked it. Yes.
Oh, wow.
No, it was good. Yeah, yeah, I was rocking. I said, okay. And I like Dave East too. His verse was hard too. I liked it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I don't know. I just say all that to say because even all these other older rappers who form podcasts as well, because even Tony Yayo, he has a
Oh.
podcast, and then he was beefing with whoever, Joe Crack, what's his name? The Spanish
Oh,
one?
Uncle Joey. I love
Was it
Fat Joe.
Fat Joe? Thank you. I couldn't think. I like Fat Joe too, though. He's a great storyteller. And Jada Kiss, obviously, then they had their issues with people too. And I was like, but what's going on? I sound like
Mm,
an ageist when I say that, and I'm not trying to imply it in any type of way, but I'm just like, but why are these grown ass men like beefing though? What is going
mhm.
on? Everybody just do your show in peace. What is the issue?
I feel like on one end, like podcasts and beefs are ways for people to stay relevant, especially if you're not putting out any new music right now. Like it's a
Yeah,
way to stay relevant. And
fair.
then I think like we're looking at a generation of men who cannot be looked at as soft. Like if somebody
Hmm.
says something, you have to respond and you have to clap back harder and you have to let them know you're not about to back down and you're not about to punk me. And it just turns into this whole like dick measuring thing.
That's very true. That part I definitely do agree with you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but I wanted to stop
No,
personally.
it'll
But
die down eventually.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
You know, but
Um,
the common denominator in a lot of these is 50. He's just running out of control unchecked like a wild animal.
right, I didn't realize that I don't even know if this many people had issues with I don't even wanna say it's issues or if it's that they had an opinion about something 50 did, once again, I guess relating to the documentary, and the 50
Mhm,
was just like, "No, actually don't talk." You know what I mean? And then, like,
mhm.
they just start a beef or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like, 50 is just he got some issues. And then,
Mm.
I had sent you the thing with him doing a documentary with Big Meech's brother Terry.
Yes.
And it seemed like Terry didn't have necessarily good things to say about his brother.
Mm-mm.
And the way the preview was, it could be skewing it a certain way because you know how people can chop and edit in certain things, but it just seemed like 50 was being messy with this
Okay,
because you know that he got beef with Big Meech and Little Meech. And so
correct.
now to do something with Terry when you having some beef with the other side of the family, it's kinda like, what you gonna do?
Okay, first of all, and I think I said this, I didn't know Terry and Meech didn't get along.
I didn't either. I mean,
Okay.
I will say we saw what we saw from the show, but some of the show is fictionalized.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe that part of the show wasn't fictional. Did you watch
Mm.
BMF, right?
I did watch it, but I feel like did the season but it never finished though because he cut it off.
No, the story didn't finish, but
Okay.
as the last season and a half, something like that was going, Terry and Meech were not in a good place with each other because Meech was like, I'm the big dog, I'm running this shit, da la la la. And Terry was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You
Okay.
doing all this stuff, making all these decisions, like I'm not
Yeah.
also a partner in this thing. You forming alliances with other people and stuff, you not running stuff by me. And so they had a lot of friction.
Right. Okay. That part I remember. I guess I didn't realize that it got to this point that you would actually go on something that's going to be national,
Hmm.
and speak ill of your brother.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that it was to that extent because weren't they in jail together?
Mm.
Because I was like, did Terry go to jail? Terry did go to jail,
He
right?
did, but he got out before Meech, though.
Right. Okay. Okay.
From the piece that I saw of this documentary,
Mhm.
it could go either way because it started off like he didn't have good things to say about Meech. He didn't like the way Meech was moving and Meech was bringing heat and this, that, and the third. It sort of made it look like maybe people were saying that he snitched but on his brother, but then he was saying something like, "No, I wouldn't snitch on my brother." And it was kinda getting kinda confusing and a little sketch. So I was like,
Mm.
"Okay, the way they edited it, it kinda, like, made you curious."
Makes sense. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Imma watch it though, because I did like BMF. I did like the show.
Imma definitely watch it. That I will do. I mean, 50 makes good TV. He makes
Mhm.
good productions of things, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, regardless of how he is as a person, he makes
Mhm.
good shit. So,
Mhm.
I'll watch it and see how it goes,
Mhm. Mhm.
follow the storyline.
Yeah. Did you ever watch the documentary, the Diddy documentary?
I did, I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. I think
Um,
we talked about our thoughts. I don't even remember.
I don't know if we ever touched base again about it. I know you had watched it before me, and then I binged it, and
Okay.
I had finished it up, but I don't know that I could say that I understand why people thought it was so good. I feel like,
Mm.
there was a good deal of stuff that we already knew. It was okay. It was okay. It was entertaining. It
Okay.
was entertaining, but I don't feel like it was necessarily worth the hype to me.
Okay. 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 I can see your point there. 'Cause it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily new information
Mhm.
presented. Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There were, like, some additional nuances that I didn't know about, like, how Bad Boy had started a little bit, I didn't know that there was, like, this other guy that he had started it with, and he ended up strong-arming the guy out of his piece of the company, and how he had put the company in his mom's name, and, there were different things like that
Mhm.
that I
Mhm.
didn't know, but, it was entertaining.
Okay.
What were your final thoughts on it?
D I think I told you at one point I did fall asleep. And it could just been because I was tired, I'm not gonna hold you. It wasn't bad, I will not say that, but I guess for me, it wasn't anything super like, "Oh my god."
Right,
It
yeah.
didn't give that, I guess, to give all the buzz that it had, exactly what you were
Mhm.
saying, because I was waiting for the, "Uh-uh."
Yeah.
I didn't grab my pearls not once, so
Mhm.
I was just kinda like, like, "Thank you," but, and then, like, you see his sons allegedly are supposed to be bringing out a documentary. I don't think they should bring it out. I think it's a bad move. I think they really need to just let their father ride this out and just let it be because you are not going to change people's opinions. It
Mhm.
is what it is. Like, Diddy allegedly did a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. That's their father, so I don't expect them to necessarily jump on the bandwagon and be like, "No, yeah, F him," and da 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 da, because maybe that just wasn't their experience with their dad, point blank period, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, but I just think the documentary with their father and them, and I guess maybe other family members, it may do more harm than good because it's just another piece of information for people to scrutinize and be like, no, I can't believe this, or this wasn't real, or this was, da, 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 da." I don't know. I just feel like let the man be in jail and just
That ain't
like,
never gonna happen though, and I
no.
think that, the sons are probably looking at it from a standpoint of somebody else
Hmm.
has shifted the narrative. Someone
Yeah.
who doesn't even like our father has
Hmm.
shifted the narrative and made good money off of it. So let's
Mm.
go ahead and take control. Let's take this back.
Hmm.
This is our opportunity to set something straight and also get some coin on the side. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
I think one of the things I had told you about the documentary that did surprise me was I had this perception of Christian Combs, the one they call King, the one that seems most like Diddy in his mannerisms and
Yeah.
how he looks and everything. I had thought that he would be Diddy's side guy, his sidekick,
Hmm.
his partner in crime. And I was really surprised to see that it was actually Justin.
Hmm.
And not only was it like, he's very close to his father and this is his sidekick, but it was like supposedly they were drugging together, having sex with women together, according to what's the producer's guy? I can't remember, Lil Ray or something like that. I can't remember.
Hmm.
Um
Yeah.
they
Hmm.
like shot a guy in a bathroom together. Stuff that I just feel like you can support your parent in their
Hmm.
BS, but to be participatory in it is a whole other thing. And so it made me start to question Diddy as a parent because we all have looked at him as like, well, I won't say we all have looked at him as, but
Mhm, mhm,
general, belief that he is a good parent. He rides for his
mhm,
very good in that arena, no matter how he is to other people,
mhm,
no matter how he is as a boyfriend or whatever, he's a good father. But
mhm.
for me to hear the stories of him and Justin possibly doing these things together, it made me question, what are you actually instilling into your children, particularly your boys? What have they
Mm.
actually participated in? What have they actually witnessed? What have you actually taught them? And that gave me pause and side eye for real, for real.
Yeah, I didn't get that perspective, and I will say this because if he's doing that around Justin, I'm sure he's doing it around Christian, I'm sure he's doing it around Quincy, and obviously this is all alleged. We don't know
Mhm,
for certain, so let's preface it with that. You can have 3 children, you raise them the same way, you don't know how anybody gonna act. So, Justin could be the wild one, and it could be due to influence by his father, but the one that gets the most scrutiny is Christian because Christian got Diddy whole face. So
mhm,
it's like you can't look at Christian and not think about Diddy. It just
mhm.
doesn't separate. Like you said, even his mannerisms, he's the one that's pursuing music and everything like that. So I always feel like, in a way, Christian does get the short end of the stick, in my opinion, because of his physical, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Because what has he displayed? He was with the girlfriend prior to the one he's with now for years. We haven't heard anything from her, not saying anything. The relationship was, perfect or was or whatever and everything like that. We haven't heard anything. He seems like he's kind of like a one girl. He don't seem like he really outside like that, moving, being real mixy mixy. I don't know. Obviously, we're just judging by what we see. He's with the young lady now. They have a house together. They doing them. They building whatever. I don't know if Justin is single or not. And at the end of the day, if you are a parent and you are in a certain lifestyle, because I know they had talked about like the shooting of the guy, the Lil Ray man that you're talking about, the producer and stuff like that.
Mhm,
Depending on the circumstances of that, if you are in that lifestyle, you're gonna do what you need to do to protect your child. It just comes
mhm.
with the territory. So if that comes with you gonna shoot somebody down and whatever, that's what it's gonna come with. Because like if your father was some like the head of a gang or something like that, you already know your dad get active. So
Mhm.
if he gonna do it, a lot of times it's gonna be, you may see certain things. That's the only reason I'm saying that. But it doesn't mean everybody is influenced. Because even with the Quincy one, Quincy seems like he peaceful too, though. I don't know. Like we just
Yeah,
judging
but I
that.
thought Justin was peaceful too. You don't never hear nothing about that boy.
See,
He
I
lay
don't
in the cut.
I don't think Justin is doing anything that a young man shouldn't be doing. Justin seems like he
Mm.
dates a lot of women. When you talking about shooting people, that's another story. But I always tell you, it's certain people, when you evolve in a certain lifestyle, that mess is normal to them. I'm not judging that because that's not what I do. But for them, it's normal. You misbehave, we break your knee. Okay, cool. You do this, we slap you. Like, okay, whatever. But that's like the lifestyle that you guys are in or whatever.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Say it again.
Haven't Let me ask you this question though.
Hmm.
So there's the shooting in the bathroom, okay?
Hmm.
You mentioned that you talked about that one.
Hmm.
Okay, what about drugs doing drugs with your parents?
See, the thing about doing drugs with their parents, I know a lot of people that say they smoke weed with their parents. I know a lot of people that say that they drink and get drunk with their parents. There's also people that go to like the clubs with their kids. I don't agree with that personally. I think it's weird. I don't ever want to go to a club with my mom ever.
Mhm.
Like, but for some people, that's normal. How many people you talk to be like, yeah, I smoke a blunt with my dad?
Mhm.
It's whatever. Because if you're trying to talk like the class of drugs,
Yeah, like if you're I'm talking like popping pills and snorting coke and stuff like that. Cause I don't think they was in there smoking weed.
we go say alleged. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Because there are certain people, once again, in they home, they go be like, yes, we were doing this type of drugs with our parents. And
Mhm.
I'm only judging that for certain things and from my job. That's the only reason why I say that.
Mhm.
For
Okay.
some people, it is normal. For me, it is not normal. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
And I think we had that conversation when we was talking about kids before. Like I'm not interested in going to the club with my kid, but I'm an older parent. By the time my kids is ready to go to the club, if it even still exists by then, I'm gonna be like 60.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
different. But, like, for parents who had their children, I guess, relatively young, if you
Mhm.
want in their 20s, so now they're adult, child, you're very relatable to each other.
Yeah,
Your socialization with that child is going to look different.
absolutely.
So when I hear some people, they be like, "No, I got drunk with my mom." You got drunk with your mom? So then what happened? Like, what? Like, what? Like, I no. My parents have seen me drunk one time in my life.
Mhm.
I am about to be 44 years old. One time in my life, and that's because I came home, and I was grown, mind you, because I was married then, let's be clear. Like, I was
Mhm.
way grown, a big woman, adult, and that was the day that we did my sister's cancer-free party, and I
Ah.
came home, and I was lit. Done. You hear? Done. Like, my husband had to what? Even, like, I remember my nephew was just like, "Auntie, are you okay?" Like, what? You know what I mean? But for me, like, there's just a certain level of respect I have for my
Mhm.
parents. So even, like, the next day, I was like, "Oh my god, daddy." Like, so
Mhm.
like, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? They didn't care, but still though, this is me, and at that point, I was in my 30s, and I'm like, "Oh my god, sorry." Like, you know what I mean? But like I said before, I do feel like also with the lifestyle with certain people in a certain tax bracket, what they be doing with their children sometimes, I feel like I'm always gonna be looking like, "Huh?" You know what I mean? Because for me, I would never understand it. No judgment, because as long as your child is not out here being a non-productive member of society, hurting other people, whatever, do what you do. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? But it still would be different for me. That's the only thing I will say.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I would say. But,
I
you
feel
know,
like I mean, the weed and drinking, okay, alright, whatever. The club, okay, whatever. My niece, when she goes to Panama, parties down with her dad in the club.
see?
Um,
Mhm.
has a
Mhm.
time of her 20-something-year-old life. But the hard drugs, the shootings, the having sexual transactions or whatever with your parent, like, all that stuff is just wild to me. It's just wild.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
piece that just shocked me about that documentary.
Yeah, if it's true, crazy. If it's true. We're not gonna say it's true because we don't know. If it's true, yeah, no. That's crazy work. But I still stick by what I said. I feel like Christian really get a bad rap though because of how he look.
It's
It's
true.
very unfortunate. He can't do anything right. It's very
Mm.
unfortunate for him. I really feel like he should stop with music and really probably just go into like investing, real
Uh-uh,
estate.
not stop his music career, damn.
Yeah, because I feel like he will never get a fair shake. mistake.
Oh,
Because
man.
I feel like people embraced him more prior to the Diddy issue. It was kinda like,
Mhm,
"Oh, you carrying on your father's legacy and this,
mhm.
that, and the fourth, and you da 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 whatever." Now it's like, "Ugh, you carrying on your father's legacy, ugh." You know what I mean? Now
Yeah.
it's looked more negatively. So that's why I'm just kinda like, like,
Mm.
you just might have to do business, honey, and
Mhm.
it's okay. Like, tech is really good.
Uh-uh.
Just do stocks. Stocks is really good. I'm not even saying this to be shady. I just don't feel like his career musically will be able to flourish like the way he wants because of the stamp, which is his face and his mannerisms and what he's associated. If you saw him anywhere, you would be like, Did he? But obviously because Diddy's older now. But you know what I mean though. Like he has his father's whole face as like a young man though. It's something. But I wish everybody the best. Everybody got their own blueprint handbook, how they
Mhm.
feel like they wanna raise their kids and everything. Like I said, as long as they not out here hurting people and trying to do well, mm, it is what it is. Do what you do in your
I
household,
guess, child.
you know? But we not snoring over here. I don't want to have children. I don't wanna do no mm-mm, 'cause certain things that I honestly, I just don't wanna know when it comes to
Mhm,
their
mhm.
whole life. I just don't wanna know. It's okay.
Yeah.
So okay. Anything else going into this new year? Do you have a word for the new year?
Do I have a word for the new year? Oh, hmm. Change. I
Mm.
think change because I feel like there are things that I wanna change from a professional perspective.
Mhm.
There are definite changes that will be happening in my relationship. There are changes in my familial relationships. You know, you and I had a deep conversation,
Yeah.
about that last night.
Mhm.
Change, yeah. I think
I
change is
like that. I like that. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. And I'm
Um,
excited, y'all, that I'm about to start swimming classes.
oh,
At 47, I'm about to take some swimming classes because your girl can't swim and your
mhm,
girl likes to travel and your girl likes water, but your girl
mhm,
is scared of the water. So I
mhm.
am going to learn how to swim so that I can take advantage of, these beautiful locations with these beautiful water and white sand beaches and turquoise waters and just enjoy my life. So I'm excited about that for this year too, starting that next month.
I think that's super dope. I love this for you. That hopefully me too, that I can't swim either, that I can join someday. But I
Yeah.
love this for you. It's important. Somebody gotta
Yeah.
know how to swim.
Child, listen. Somebody.
Yeah, it's very important. I will say that my word for this year is going to be patience. Really just taking time to really nurture things
Mm,
and just be patient to watch it grow. I feel like a lot of times, particularly in our society today, we want things now. It's
yeah.
like, when is it going to happen? I need it now. Da, 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 da. And sometimes patience is needed. It's what's required because I also feel like if you're not getting something in the exact moment that you want, it could be because you're not ready for it and maybe
Mm,
you don't see it in that moment, but if you believe in the higher up, I feel like God is going to give you everything you need at the correct time and when it's needed for you, not necessarily when you want it. And I
mhm,
really think that's very true. So just being patient in all aspects, being patient with the children when they be acting like some type of something. Just yeah, just being patient, not so reactive when it comes to certain things and really just taking time, enjoying. Yeah, I would say that.
well, we off to a hell of a start to 2026 in the
Yes.
world, but,
Yes.
we can always control how we respond and how we move forward in this new year,
Mhm.
and that's what we're gonna do.
Yes, yes. So we'll wrap this episode up. We usually end with our mindset reset. And I will just say, gratitude. Take time to
Mm,
be grateful, thankful for what you do have today, even if it doesn't seem like a lot to you because you still aspire for more. Still be grateful because sometimes the person next to you, they're aspiring for what you have. So still, obviously keep your motivation, keep pushing forward, obviously, but still just take the time just to be grateful and show gratitude for where you are today.
come on, pastor. Reading that Quran, girl, got you deep. What they call imam? Come on,
Yes,
imam.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. Yes, yes, gratitude, yes. So,
Oh, well, you guys
yes,
know the drill at this point. You know how to
yes.
find us. We are Just Life and Podcast on all platforms. That is Facebook, that's Instagram, that's TikTok. Reach out to us in our DMs. You can email us at justlifeandpodcast@gmail.com. You know, we want y'all to burn up our email and burn up our DMs with your
Mhm.
questions for our Inbox Unlocked segment. You can do that. We also have Linktree. You can go to our Instagram and click the link in our bio for our Linktree. You can leave your questions or comments there anonymously, even if you want. We drop every Wednesday. We are dropping early in the morning. So if you're on your way to work, you're doing your morning workout, all those things, we are available to you then. Reach out to
Yeah.
us in the comments. We love to hear from you that way as well. Did I miss anything?
No, ma'am. You said everybody,
All right, then.
all the platforms.
All the platforms.
Everybody.
All right, y'all. Well, we are glad to be back, and we will talk to you guys again next week.
Have a good one.